Hi everybody, this is Noelle from Petitti's, and we are at a new place today. So we're not at one of our stores, we're actually off-site at this lovely home, and it was a blank slate before we started. And we kind of wanted to talk to you about landscaping and just real quick landscaping basics and things that I look for, that a lot of us look for, before we start a landscape. And Angelo always talks about soil prep and how important it is, and it really, really is. And we have trouble with our soils, especially clay soils in Northeast Ohio. So we kind of dug around in this space a little bit, even before we measured and everything else. And we found out it's a little bit clay, but it's a little bit gritty too. So it was kind of easier to dig in. So we were really happy about that. But of course, we brought our planting mix, we brought our biotone along as well, because we wanted to make sure that we started with some good soil amendments and some good root starting fertilizer. So we did start with the soil. I do have to say, whenever we talk about a spotlight on plants, we always talk about our light conditions. And this house faces north, true north, okay? So there's not a lot, and you can tell this part of the garden is really in shade right now, and it's because the house itself is really shading this plant material, and it'll do it all throughout the day. So you never get true direct sunlight on it. So we did have to kind of, select the right plant for the right spot. And Angelo Petitti talks about that as well too. So you want to make sure that you're selecting plants for the proper sunlight conditions that you're getting in that area. Now, I will tell you, and I was telling Taylor this when I was kind of designing it, there's one plant here that might have a little struggle, and it's this one right next to me. And I thought maybe we would get enough sunlight from the east coming in around the house. And it turns out there is a stand of like 4 or 5 big oak trees over here. So I'm not sure how well this rose is going to do. This petite rose is going to do awesome because it's on the northwest side of the house. So no problem. No trees right here, getting plenty of light. And we're in the afternoon right now, so you can tell there's plenty of sun over here. I don't know, this one might be a little bit different. So anyway, make sure you know your light conditions. So since we were, kind of in this northern exposure, getting a little bit of wraparound sunlight, I thought, oh gosh, I'd really like to put a nice ornamental tree on the corner, and I want it to be nice and small. And this is a cute little craftsman home, but the landscape is no more than about 10, 12 foot long here and about 3 foot deep or wide. So it's a nice little area, but you don't need a lot in it. And we're always telling folks, make sure you watch your spacing on plant material, because if you plant things too close together, they're just going to overgrow each other. You're going to lose one. There's going to be lots of issues down the road. So make sure you always space your plant material out the way that they should be spaced. Gives them plenty of air circulation. Again, as the light comes in and penetrates, you're starting to get light on all parts of the plant. That's important too. Never plant up against the foundation of the house. Try to always bring your plants out from the foundation, at least a foot, if not 2, if you can come out a little bit more. And so we kind of hit the middle of the bed, which is about 1.5 feet. So I'm really happy with that. And then structure-wise, when I was talking about the ornamental tree, we've got that beautiful little hydrangea tree. And that's actually Sweet Summer hydrangea tree. And Sweet Summer is one of the more compact varieties of panicle hydrangeas. And so it's going to be perfect tucked in that little spot in that little corner. And when you're designing things, you tend to design higher on the left and kind of come down on the right. So the hydrangea tree is our high point, softens that corner of the porch and that side of the house. And then you really need some backbone plants. And so I usually use evergreens as my backbone, and I think a lot of designers do that. And so boxwood is just an easy, natural choice for us. Deer resistant, sun or shade tolerant, stays compact. And so I just wanted easy care for in front of this home. So I ended up choosing Winter Gem boxwood, and they'll produce when you're not pruning them, just leaving them alone. They'll usually produce like a 3x3 round mound. So perfect round mounds right in front of this porch. And I think that'll look really nice. They'll stay evergreen year round for you. And, just give you that backbone that you can also put other more colorful plants in front of. So therefore we moved down and we put some coral bells. This coral bell is called caramel or caramel, however you like to say it. And this coral bell has that beautiful kind of yellow amber tone to it. And we love it because it looks so great against the blue of this home. So we liked that contrast in the color. And of course, they love shady spots. So the more foliage color you can get in the shade, I think it's going to be awesome. It has a really great large kind of maple leaf look to it. So the texture between your Winter Gem boxwood and your caramel coral bells or heuchera are gonna be awesome. So that's always gonna be nice play off of each other. Plus coral bells in our area, if it's a mild winter, you see them out over the winter. If they get covered by snow, that's okay, no problem. And then they tend to be semi-evergreen in Northeast Ohio. So at least we'll get a little bit of color, year round from them. So that'll be really good. The roses, I wanted to put a touch of color. Petite roses, and this is Petite Knockout. And she's a nice, small, miniature rose. And the thing about her is she's super tough. And so you can plant her in a lot of unsavory conditions, I guess. But again, being a rose, she really would like to have 6 or more hours of sunlight. And like I said, that one is going to be great. This one, maybe. The one on the corner in front of the hydrangea is probably going to do great as well. So we'll see. We might have to plant and make a different suggestion with this one. But they stay nice and compact. They're repeat blooming powerhouses. I actually had to deadhead one of them because it got a little dry, and so the flowers got a little burnt. But there's like 2, 3, 5, buds underneath coming right back. It just blooms and blooms and blooms, and it just keeps on going and going and going. Deadheading or not, up to you, really does its thing and stays nice and tight and compact. So clean foliage, absolutely beautiful plant, fairly drought tolerant as well. So that's always a good plus for that. On the opposite side of the hydrangea, just around the corner, because again, we're getting some of that eastern sunlight. There are some beautiful coneflowers there, echinacea, and those are called Tres Amigos. And I love Tres Amigos. When those flowers come up, they kind of start one color, like a burgundy red, and then they start to sort of change colors and morph. So you get 3 different color phases on them, I guess is the best way to describe it. So they do such a wonderful job. Again, they're just coneflowers, love to be in sun, love to be in well-drained soil. And we found when we were digging around the corner here closer to the driveway, it's really gravelly, really gritty in that area. So coneflowers are going to love it there because it's really going to drain out well for them. And then the last plant that we put just behind the coneflowers is this cute little sedge. It's a sedge grass. It's called everlime. And everlime is actually just it grows maybe 12 inches tall. You can see it. It's a big waterfall mop of foliage, but it has this fine, leaf to it, very long. And everlime has these lime stripes through it. So it's really a cool little grass. It's a sedge. It'll grow in shade. It'll grow in sun for the most part. They can really grow just about anywhere, but beautiful ornamental grass. And the whole thing just kind of fills in. You get your tall ornamental tree to kind of really soften this edge. You move down and have your backbone structure of the boxwood. You move into the color, the foliage color with the coral bells, some flowering color with the roses and also the coneflowers. And then you have a little bit of fun or a little bit of whimsy with your sedge grass, and you're ready to go. Enjoy.